离气候协议最终在4月22号世界地球日那一天，由全球175个国家，其中最重要的是全世界的2大排放国，就是美国和中国都已经签订了。这是一个好消息。坏消息是全球暖化的速度比科学家原来预估的来得更加严重，因此就有这么一群疯子。你可以说他疯子，也可以说他是梦想者。而最近看到全球暖化的时刻，有人就提出来说，那我们可不可以在某些没有人居住的地方来发射一个核子武器，制造一个核子性的寒冬，使得地球的气温下降？如果迫不得已走到了生物灭绝、即将灭绝，比如说地球居然升温超过了3度到4度的时刻，这是不是一个选择方案呢？那么当有人提出这个选择方案，我们就可以理解对于全球暖化其实了解实情的人是如何的悲观。
Administration officials from the president on down have been using hardline rhetoric against the Soviets all year long.
Today, in virtually every measure of military power, the Soviet Union enjoys a decided advantage. The Soviet military buildup must not be ignored.
If the United States are going to continue their course, then I'm afraid that the world is doomed to be on the brink of nuclear war.
There was a real fear in the early 80s that we were in a more dangerous period than we had been, perhaps since the missile crisis in 1962.
当时美苏共部署了上万枚核弹头，冷战的算计让2大强权更加速军备竞赛。一触即发的紧张情势，在全美引爆了一场冻结核武运动。天文学家卡尔塞根也是冻结核武运动健将之一。
Imagine a room awash in gasoline, and there are 2 implacable enemies in that room. One of them has 9,000 matches. The other has 7,000 matches. Each of them is concerned about who's ahead, who's stronger. Well, that's the kind of situation we are actually in.
塞根非常具有说服力。1983年间，他把科学界关于核战另一个可怕的新发现公告周知。
Dr. Carl Sagan and more than 100 other scientists have concluded that the long-term effects of nuclear war would be much worse than anyone has predicted so far.
We studied a range of consequences of various nuclear war scenarios. If I may have the first slide, high-yield nuclear weapons explosions.
It was a very new idea that smoke from fires started by nuclear weapons would go up in the atmosphere, block out the sun, and make it cold and dark and dry at the Earth's surface, having impacts on agricultural production.
For the first time, we see that the consequences of a nuclear war might be absolutely devastating for nations far removed from the conflict.
塞根还制作了一支短片，预言式的警告世人核子寒冬的杀伤力。他说，一切农作物，野生的、人为种植的，将全数毁灭。人类即使挨过核战，却逃不过饥荒。人类的大灭绝成了实实在在的可能性。由于有至少40位美国顶尖科学家背书，核子寒冬的理论开始深入人心，并受到当局的重视。
A great many reputable scientists are telling us that such a war could just end up in no victory for anyone because we would wipe out the earth as we know it.
苏联领导人戈巴契夫也对核子寒冬表达忧心。
Today, I, for the United States, and the General Secretary for the Soviet Union, have signed the first agreement ever to eliminate an entire class of U.S. and Soviet nuclear weapons. We have made history.
但就在2大强权签署销毁核武协议之前，核子寒冬的末日式预言威力已开始减弱。
Those of us who were doing more global models, we didn't get anything like the result that Sagan was getting. I mean, we got a climatic effect if you put that much smoke on there, but we didn't get the kind of effect that we're talking about.
另一派声音开始出现，大气科学家依据电脑模型计算，预料核战将带来严峻后果，但不至于让人类灭绝。 部分对核子寒冬理论言之凿凿的科学家也收回了原先看法，但大气科学家强调，核战对气候带来的冲击不容漠视。就这样，核子寒冬理论从舆论消失，接着另一个气候议题浮上台面。
When I show my results of the climate response to smoke from nuclear war, inevitably I get a question, so is that a solution to global warming?
科学家开始设想，是否能在人类控制条件下，利用核子寒冬的原理来替地球降温。其中一种方法是将硫酸粒子释放进地球的同温层，堵住部分的阳光，替地球降温，减缓暖化的影响。不过，这种利用地球工程人为干扰气候，也伴随颇大的争议。
This idea of responding to global warming, essentially with nuclear winter light, I guess you could call it, the science leads to some very worrisome questions.
I should mention that I've written a paper with 26 reasons why geoengineering would be a bad idea. Anything built by humans and operated by humans can fail. So would you trust our only planet to this?
在科学家研究核战对气候的冲击30多年后，今日人类并未摆脱核战的阴影和威胁。
It's important for countries and leaders to be keeping in mind what nuclear war would do. Even small exchanges could be absolutely devastating. You're going to have first the destruction effects. You'll have fallout. You may have some climatic effects that spread.
罗巴克模拟了核战最糟的情景，显示一场小型核战产生的烟尘弥漫，恐将造成地表部分区域降温好几度。
It would be enough to have a huge impact on agricultural production. The world would have much less food. So you can imagine these political instabilities developing, and war and terrible famine as a result of a small nuclear war on the other side of the world.
人类该庆幸核子寒冬仍只是理论，但地球暖化究竟会带领人类到何种境地，目前还是个未知数。